Hello everyone, welcome back to the last installment of List Week for 2018, and yeah, I know it's my third one. I'm not making a gazillion videos on every little aspect of music in 2018. I'm not doing song lists, I'm not doing disappointing list, I'm not doing any of that. So I did my worst and best albums of 2018. Now it's time to look at the notable artists that I discovered in 2018. It doesn't have to be a recent artist. It can be something not from this year or anything like that. Without further ado, here we go. Now, one band that I've discovered this year, and they've slowly become one of my favorite bands, and that is SleaterKinney. I wasn't expecting to love SleaterKinney at all, because the first time I discovered them was with Jumpers, and Jumpers I wasn't that interested in, because, you know, it was okay. It was okay when I first heard it. But then I heard A New Wave, and then I was like, okay, this is pretty good. So I spent maybe a month trying to find more about this band, because I was mildly intrigued by them. Then I stumbled upon their Essentials playlist, and then that's when it really started. I was like, wow. Wow. They can make they can make all those songs, and they're all good. Like, even, by then, even Jumpers started to win me over. So I just went through their entire discography, and lo and behold, it was amazing. It's just a good band, man. It's a good band. One of the just a amazing power trio. Just wow. Another artist that I've discovered in 2018, weirdly enough, is Robert Johnson. What a time to discover Robert Johnson. 2018. But anyway, yeah, I've been getting into blues a lot. Not recently, but over the course of maybe a year or two. And that kind of stems from like hearing blues nonstop in 2015. 2015 and 2016, I was exposed to blues so much, and that's kind of what started my pop phase. Because I was so done with blues because I heard it so much every day, and I didn't really want to anyway, that I just resorted to pop music. And that kind of started a whole bunch of other stuff. And now I'm here. So I decided to get more into blues than I already was. And so I just decided to, hey, let's listen to some Robert Johnson. And wow. Just wow. And from that, I just started discovering more blues and more and more and more, even before his time and way after his time. And yeah, wow. Death Grips. This deserves at least just a little mention because, like, yeah, they made my top list, and my first experience with them was kind of funny. There was a certain remark that I made in response to one of their songs that I heard, and it will probably go down in history of my friends. And what I said was, "Is this comedy rap?" And and since then, I've just lived with that. I've had to live with that because it. Yeah, but for that, it deserves at least a mention. But other than that, solid project too. Obviously, Kanye West and Kid Cudi. I hadn't even heard of Kid Cudi before this year, and with Kanye, I've heard of him all my life, but I never really decided to listen to his music because from what I heard, I wasn't all that impressed. But now with Kids See Ghost, I decided to look at them more. I haven't heard more albums yet, other than Yay, but I will be in 2019, and yeah, they're starting to really grow on me. Like Kid Cudi, I've heard some of him. He seems pretty good, and Kanye, all I've heard is pretty good. But yeah, I'm excited to hear more. So yeah, I've discovered a lot of things in 2018. One of those things was jazz. I've never heard jazz in my life like I have in 2018. Jazz was basically just a thought in my mind until 2018, and that's when I actually tried to experience the music. I don't know how I decided to do this. I don't really remember, but whatever it was, I'm happy for it because jazz is a great genre of music. And one of the few people that I've discovered through this, I haven't discovered many people, but I have discovered a lot of jazz within those few people. And one of those people is Kamasi Washington, a great fusion artist that helped me ease into jazz better than something from another genre like hard bop that would probably drive me off a little bit. But by the time I discovered Kamasi, I was already pretty accustomed to more experimental and riveting music and more interesting music, and so I felt more comfortable with jazz thanks to Kamasi. So yeah. So in my search for blues, I found probably one of the greatest modern blues artists, in my opinion, Cedric Burnside. He is a hill country artist, and yeah, he's probably one of the best ones right now. He just made an album recently, and I gave it a generous 8.2 out of 10. It was a good album. It was a good album. So yeah. And it was kind of weird how I found him. I don't usually find quality in TV, but that's where I found him. I found him on public broadcasting, and since then I've just been interested in him. So yeah. So this next artist I've actually discovered because of him. Now, since I found Cedric Burnside, it opened up my horizons to interpret blues, more openly. So I was thinking, is there an experimental blues genre? And though that answer may be not the best defined answer, I got something probably better than an answer. I got Oxbow. Yeah, I searched to see experimental blues, and Oxbow was the first result for some reason. Maybe because it's punk blues in a vague interpretation, but yeah. Oxbow has forever since changed my perception on experimental music and harsh music, but yeah, I'm glad that I found Oxbow, because yeah, yes. Another interesting artist that I discovered was the microphones, and that discovery was probably the best discovery because it opened my it opened my taste to a range of folk and just great stuff from the genre, like Nutrimilk Hotel and other stuff. But yeah, probably the best discovery, more for my taste, not as maybe a artist, but definitely as broadening my taste. And yeah, he's also a great artist too. So yeah. Next is Covet. Yes, you know, they made my best list. They, like, yeah, they got me into math rock. They weren't exactly my first experience in math rock, but once I heard Covet, the stuff that I heard before, I started liking more, and then I just wanted to hear more math rock. So, yeah, and then I've moved on to other bands as well, such as Toe and Animals as Leaders and stuff like that. And yeah, it all started because of Covet. Again, I'll say, Yvette Young, one of the greatest guitarists of our generation. It's just blows my mind how she does it. Like, okay, I will say, I've heard rumors that she does like a double tap thing. I have not seen a video of her at all, but I've heard her play, and just with the audio, I know that she's one of the greatest. So yeah. So yeah, it math rock is one of those genres that I prefer instrumental, and because that there are no instrumentals in Covet, I think that's what like made me like it more. But and like I said, because of what I heard of what math rock can be, I've also liked math rock more, and so yeah. Anderson Paak. He has made a formidable impression on me in such a short amount of time. I first discovered him on Bloody Waters from the Black Panther soundtrack. I've discovered a lot of artists from that one album because I was so not experienced in rap and R&B at all. It wasn't hard for me to discover many artists from just that. So, yeah. Yeah, and one of the most interesting was Anderson .Paak. Like I said in the Black Panther review, that chorus by Anderson .Paak was very soulful and very nice, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, so I wanted to hear more from him, and I kept hearing about his album Malibu, and then as soon as Oxnard released, I was like, I have to listen to his entire discography. I just have to. So I did, and Malibu, wow. Probably one of the best in R&B, maybe not just in our time, but maybe even of all time, if that's not too racy of a or controversial of a statement. Oof. But yeah, he's good. He's real good. Minor Threat. Wow. Minor Threat. I discovered them this year. I I've I've put them off a lot of times. I've heard of them all the way back to late 2017, but I just kept putting them off. But I'm glad that I eventually got around to them because, wow. Short yet strong, formidable punk tunes that just feel your blood. They get you pumping and you want to mosh. That is what I want in hardcore punk. That is what I want in my hardcore punk. Also, straight edge. And for the last one, Eli Kessler. Again, jazz quickly has rose to my liking. I now love jazz now, but a year ago, couldn't even touch it. But now, it's just like night and day. And though Eli Kessler wasn't one of those artists that got me into it, after I was into it, he just expanded my love for jazz. Just because of how simple his music is, and the fact that he's a drummer, and I'm a drummer, and I relate to that, and just how good he is made me love the musicianship that jazz can have. So, yeah, that was 2018 for me, a year of discovering and rediscovering. I discovered a lot this year, and I listened to a lot this year. It was a year of expanding taste, and yeah, I hope I do even more in expanding my taste from in 2019. So, yeah, I'm Panda Wes, and peace.